Believe it or not, historians debate if Henry Plummer truly was an outlaw mastermind hiding behind the sheriff's badge, or if he was a convenient scapegoat in a violent frontier town that needed someone to blame. One piece of evidence? According to vigilante Thomas Dinsdale in his book The Vigilantes of Montana, crime dropped sharply after Plummer and the Innocents were hanged. Stagecoach robberies and road agent killings almost disappeared. And several members of the Innocents claimed that Sheriff Plummer was the leader of the gang. Before he was executed in January 1864, Red Yeager supposedly confessed that Sheriff Plummer was the leader of the road agents. And why did Plummer end up in Bannock, where all the Innocents were located? Well, it turns out that at least a few of the Innocents were imprisoned in San Quentin around the same time as Plummer. This overlap fueled the vigilantes' case. They argued Plummer didn't just fall in with bad men in Montana, he had prior connections with them going back years. To the vigilantes, it looked like an organized network of ex-cons regrouped in Montana's gold camps under Plummer's leadership. And Plummer's claim of a hidden treasure right before being hanged doesn't sound like the words of an innocent man. Plus, those were not in fact his last words. According to some accounts, his final words weren't a plea for his life or a proclamation of his innocence. They were, "Give me a high drop, boys," the perfect line for an outlaw sheriff. Growing up in Montana, this was one of my favorite stories, especially with my family ties to it. And it always seems obvious to me that Plummer was a guilty man. And while it's true that the vigilantes largely wrote the accounts of the time and would have had a vested interest in justifying their hangings, there is a mountain of evidence against Plummer. And to me, a pretty clear profile on who he was as a man. Historians may dispute if he was guilty or innocent, but it's important to think for yourself and draw your own conclusions. A practice I would recommend against any mainstream narratives that we are told to never question. And I tend to think there really was a treasure. But I think that treasure was found and spent a long time ago. After all, life was hard back then for his gang, and she bangs, she bangs. So what do you think? Was Henry Plummer a criminal mastermind, or was he wrongfully accused? And was there really a buried treasure, or was that just a wild claim made by a desperate man? I hope someday we'll know everything for sure. But in the meantime, it's a great story.